How many of you are familiar with Simon Sinek, the great writer and speaker who gave the world massive value by simply asking, why? The profundity of this question and his skill as a thinker is evident in how this question extends beyond the rhetoric of telecom sales. It challenges our notion of meaning, of existing any longer than a second in this world. The answer is not easy to obtain without some serious reflection. The term why evokes a search for meaning, significance, of rational comprehension. If we cannot answer this question without the confidence and authenticity of our personal self, then what is the point? Failing to do so compromises our own basic being, the bedrock to which all we achieve and all we desire is built upon. So when I faced it, I did the most logical thing a person who the majority of his life so far was a litany of exams, problem sets, essays, debates, and quizzes would do. I attempted to answer it. And note here, attempted. The great Dr. Viktor Frankl gave a framework in his book titled Man's Search for Meaning, but explicitly said he did not have an answer to the question. So clearly, I don't think I could even marginally answer it, being a 21-year-old who still puts his shirt on backwards. The typical answer to such a question is to be happy, which is an acceptable answer, but something that I disagree with. The happiness debate will have to be for another time because it's not central to this speech. It is just something to be acknowledged moving forward. Please don't think that I'm a suppressed, stone-faced stoic. My answer, rather, I decided was to have the primary focus of my existence, the purpose of my toil, to be to pursue a deep meaning in my life through personal growth. And having the power of why, as Nietzsche put it, allows me to endure almost any how. Personal growth had become a constant state of being. It had to be. Generally, if something is not evolving, it is dying. As a criteria, my personal growth had to be enduring, directed, and utilized to add value to others, empowering their own conversion. Recently, I had observed a trinity of key themes I attribute to progressing my own growth. I had to change my perception of these things down to the microcosmic. Doing so, I could establish my why. The first is time, the most valuable asset in the universe. Then comes pain, the free educational lifelong mentor. And fear, the strongest genetic primordial source of motivation that we can tap into since the birth of mankind. To reach a state of personal growth, I had to metamorphosize the paradigms assigned to each of these. Let's start with the first, chronos, time, typically depicted as an all-devouring Greek titan, massive and unstoppable. I take the economic view. It is limited and scarce. In following economic theory, ceteris paribus, that which is in short supply is highly valued. I only understood the depth of that meaning behind time when 3 years ago an 18-year-old friend of mine decided to end his time on Earth. At that flashpoint, I understood how finite time already was and felt the shock of losing the rest of his lifespan in that instant. With the time I had left living, the average human lives about 30,000 days, I practiced dedicating each and every minute of my conscious day somewhere to allocating it with quality, how the time was spent. It is something I constantly am aware of. I set the standard for each moment so that it contributes to my purpose. Any situation that I was fully in control of, I vowed not to waste time. I placed the same amount of value of 5 minutes to 10 hours. To optimize this asset, it had to be economized and organized, and doing so gave me more of it. Tangibly, I like to function with 18-hour days, allowing me more time to leverage into my ambitions. And the beauty of this approach as time passes is that it is an asset that becomes more precious and valuable, self-enforcing my drive to use it effectively. By creating more quality and quantity of time, I could build a richer meaning through my personal growth. The second catalyst, intense yet rewarding, maddening yet giving the most clarity, is pain. Commonly celebrated as something to disdain, I do not. I welcome it, in fact. The diversity of how we can experience pain in our physiology, be it emotional, intellectual, or physical, I see as opportunities to deeply comprehend our state of existence at the moment. I subscribe to Ray Dalio's principle on this. Pain with reflection equals progress. Take failure, being unprepared, rejection. These are not obstacles, but rather signs for us to transcend our weaker self. And I find we are never actually prepared to face pain. Rather, there's just less unpreparedness.